Hey y'all, welcome to the Hot Rod Dad channel. Glad you came. Hope you stay. Like, subscribe, comment, share, etc., etc. Beautiful day here in Tennessee. Started out this weekend with a little drag racing action at the Rumble in Ringgold at the Southeastern Gassers race, and I'll try to get a video together on that. And today I've been working on the BLT here a little bit. And you know, I told you in the last video that I filmed of the BLT where I mounted the headlights, that I've been kind of lacking in inspiration on this project here a little bit. And to get it back on track, I've decided I'm going to take it to a car show this year, even in unfinished state, just because I think it'd be a whole lot of fun to have something to talk about at the car show, and to you know, listen to some critique on it. Tell me what y'all like on it, what you don't like, and if you happen to be there in person, you can do that. So there's nothing like a big visual impact project to kind of get you back on track, give you some inspiration on a project. And I was so inspired by today's project, which is mounting the tires, that I rolled it out here outside just to get a look at it in the sunshine. And sometimes you just need to back up and kind of look at it from a distance, just to kind of get an idea if all of your you know, all your brainstorming and all the little ideas you had that you put in there are gelling together. So I think so far they have. Today I'm gonna give you a few tricks and tips on mounting bi-supply tires with inner tubes. So y'all stay tuned and we'll talk about that a little bit. So here is one of the wheels I'm going to use on the rear of the BLT. This is a 1932 Ford 18-inch wire wheel. These were made for 1 year only, and it's 3 1/4 inches wide right here. It's a little narrow for the size tire that I'm going to use, but I think it'll balloon out there and look okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is, this is a little bit rusty and crusty in here. I'm just going to take a wire brush in there and clean that up. And the rim is in really good shape here. Otherwise, it's got most of the original black paint in there. I'm not going to worry about painting these. I mean, this rim is nearly 100 years old and it still has the original black paint in there mostly. And you know, I could go to a lot of effort to clean these up and sandblast them and paint the inside of the rim right there, and that would be good. But this car is going to be parked inside, you know, most of the rest of its life, most of the rest of my life. So I'm just going to keep it inside. It'll be in the dry. There's really not going to be any progression of the rust inside there, so it will probably far outlast the tire. So I'm just going to wire brush this up. Check the rim for any dings, if it's got any dings, curb dings or anything on the lip right there. I will knock those out and make sure that it's good and smooth. So I'm going to get started on that, and then we'll get the tire mounted. All right, now I've went hands-free. I've got the camera mounted on my headband right here. I've got my tire facing with the side facing down that I want on the inside. So let's get a tire mounted right here. This is the solution I'm going to use right here. It's just some soapy water. I use about 2 tablespoons of soap to a cup of water. And I'm just going to go through here and kind of spray this down right here and get it good and soapy. Now, this little Firestone emblem right there that's on the tire, I want my valve stem right under that, so I'm going to put the back side of the wheel facing down there. I'm going to get the hole lined up right there. And this is just a bar, tire bar I picked up at the local Harbor Freight. Just inexpensive little tool right there. And I'm just gonna work, actually, I'm gonna set that inside lip in right there at the bottom just a little bit. And then what you wanna do is, using your tire iron right here, you're gonna start working that tire in. Now don't worry about getting your inner tube in there just yet. Just get the tire on the rim on the one side right there. And you want to just kind of take little bites. And just kind of work slowly. Might find it helpful to put a knee on the tire right there. Like I said, just kind of small bites right there. You might find it useful right there too to kind of angle your bar right there, your tire iron a little bit. And this thing's got a couple of different ends right here, a couple of different shapes, and you can go back and forth between the two. Just whichever works best. Now you can see I've got that worked in right there. It only took couple of minutes. Again, I'm going to line my tire up with that little Firestone emblem right there. Now, what I want to do is hold the wheel in there in place. I'm going to flip the whole thing over. And I'm going to check my hole right there again. The same emblems right here on the back side of the tire, and should line up pretty good. Now let's start putting the inner tube in. Okay, now that I've got the tire mounted on the rim on the one side right there, I'm going to get started installing this tube. Pick these up at Coker Tire. You can see right there is the size right there and everything. That TR15 indicates the size of the valve stem right here. And you can see that this stem is not directly in the center of the tube. Instead, it's offset, which you will need for this type of wheel because the valve stem is offset on the rim. It's not in dead center. So this being offset to that side, that means it's the front side. So I'm going to flip that over just like that. And I've got the valve stem hole right there. So I'm going to start working this in by pulling a tire up here. And just start sliding that inner tube in. And one thing you're going to find helpful, if you got some spacers here to lift this tire up, I'm just using the front tires that I'm going to be putting on the front right there. And so I'm just going to start working this inner tube in. Just like that. Some people like to put a little air in the inner tube before they put it in to expand it just a little bit. I like just leaving it without any air in it. So I'm just going to start working this in here and working it over the rim. Make sure to not get it twisted anywhere. And again, you want to go around your rim, make sure there's no sharp edges to cut the inner tube on. So now I'm going to take that spacer out. And what you're looking for, you want to get, this is the dead center of the inner tube. You want to kind of get that work down into this recessed part of the rim, so it's right in the center. And I'm gonna have to take that spacer out, I believe. I want to make sure it's not twisted up or anywhere, or got any bad wrinkles or anything in it. And I'm just kind of shaking this tire a little bit to get it worked down inside the rim. Now, next thing I want to do is work that valve stem through the hole. So I'm going to kind of turn this around toward me and locate that valve stem. This is arguably the most aggravating part of mounting a tire with a tube in it. Okay, I've got the valve stem through the hole right there, and these are tapered T15 valve stems, so they fit pretty snug in the hole right there on the wheel. But just in case you have a valve stem that kind of a little loose right there, this is a good little tool right there that you can pull the valve stem through the hole with right there and keep track of it. Because when you get the other side mounted, you'll lose access to it, and this will allow you, if it does slip back up in the rim, it'll allow you to pull it back through. Now this has got kind of a 3-in-1 application right here. This is a deflator right here on this side. That's a Schrader valve removal tool. And this one, of course, is to pull the valve stem through the rim hole right there. So that's a pretty handy little tool. You can pick them up at most parts stores, just about $5 or $6. So if you don't have one, you need to get one. Now I'm going to turn this back over, lay it down on the ground, and now the fun part starts. I want to kind of run my hands around here and make sure that that tube is kind of pushed down inside the wheel. And then I'm going to spray the tire right here. I just now noticed that my tire slipped around there a little bit, so I'm going to just turn the camera off just a minute, take a minute to straighten that up. I know that's kind of an anal thing, but I just want to kind of have all of them the same. Okay, I've got my valve stem centered back up there where I want it, and I've taken just a minute and kind of ran my hand back there a second time just to make sure that the inner tube is pushed down inside the wheel. The reason being, when I put that tire iron down in there to work it around the tire, I don't want to pinch the inner tube and put a cut in it. So again, I'm just going to start down here on the bottom, and every once in a while I will check to make sure that I'm not getting into that inner tube any. And you might find it helpful to just throw a knee up on the tire right there to hold what you got in place so you don't lose anything. And like I said, you want to periodically kind of check that inner tube. Definitely want to use some, wear some pants that you don't care anything about when you're doing this, because you will get black all over your pants right there, and you don't want to ruin them. Again, checking to make sure that my inner tube is way down in the tire, and just take it a little bit at a time, and you work it on there. I think I can let off of that side now. bit too big of a bite right there. Almost. I might even see if I can put a knee on that side. Push that down a little bit. Yep. Popped right on. All right. Now the tire's mounted. As you can see, the valve stem loosened up right there a little bit, but it didn't go all the way back in there. It fits real nice in that hole. So now all that's left to do is air them up. I don't know how well the camera will pick this up, but you can maybe able to hear it just a little bit. It's hissing right there around the valve stem. Now that does not mean that the inner tube is leaking. What that is it's air escaping the cavity of this tire, because you're filling it up with the inner tube and that air has to escape somewhere. So a lot of times it will come out around the valve stem. Sometimes it will bubble up right here around the tire where you've got your soapy water on there. So don't be alarmed by that. It does not mean it's leaking. So I'm going to continue on filling this up. Well, I've thrown them on the car just to see what they look like. Even threw on an old original hubcap. I think it looks pretty good, even though it's not a V8. As the old commercial says, I could have had a V8. Oh well. I think they look pretty good, and I'm not going to worry about balancing these right now, because my main concern was just to get some good rubber on the car so I can roll it in and out of the shop and make it a little more mobile. I can always kind of throw them in the back of the truck, take them to the tire shop later and get them balanced, or I could do it right here in home. So I think I'm going to be on the lookout for just an old school bubble balancer if I can find one, and you know, try to do it here at the house. So let's roll this thing out and see what it looks like. Well, like I said on the beginning of the video, I was so stoked about getting the back tires mounted on this thing. I had to drag it outside and kind of get a look at it in the sunlight. Kind of step back and see if all my ideas thus far are kind of gelling together. And I think I've got the stance where I want it. So now I can move on to dialing in the front suspension, get my caster set and that type of thing. Unfortunately, Coker Tire was back ordered on the front inner tubes, so it's going to be May before I can get those. But these tires, wheels and tires that I've got on here right now are within a ½ inch of the ones that I'm going to run, so I can go ahead and get about setting the front suspension up. And you know, I agonized a lot about the wheel and tire choice on this car. And I am so glad that I went with these wire wheels. I think they really suit the car. What do y'all think? Leave me a comment in the comment section below. The fronts will be very similar to the back, just a smaller diameter. There'll be 35 Ford wire wheels on the front. And I think I'm just gonna leave the front ones in kind of a as-found condition too. I just kind of like that crusty look for this car. I don't know why. It's just what's talking to me. It just gonna look like just a sweaty old hot rod, and I dig it. So anyway, there it is. I got the stance dialed in. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section. And as I stated in the video where I mounted the headlights, I'm going to be dragging this thing to a car show just to get some input and listen to people's critique and you know, tell me what they like, what they don't like about it, etc., etc. So anyway, there it is. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Hope you got some good useful information out of it. If you did, give it a big thumbs up, like, and subscribe. Hope you got some inspiration from my inspiration. And until next time, y'all get out there and build something.
Y'all get out there and build something.
That's right.